Group C, lower bracket final, quarterfinals, or the exit. It's gonna be between Fly and FoCuS, second and third orc in the world, going in against TH in the quarterfinals. That's not gonna be an easy task for sure, but first things first. Thank you very much, Zico, for gifting 50 subs.
Ooh.
That's pretty damn amazing. Thank you.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so very much. Very generous. Yeah, Fly versus FoCuS. Our next game coming up. It seems like it's always pretty close between them, right? Linus at the top, then there's Fly and FoCuS, especially over the last few years at least. Sometimes it's Fly ahead, sometimes it's FoCuS ahead. They always seem to be very close to each other. But I just looked up the stats between them two specifically, and FoCuS has a big lead there, dude.
18-3 historically, that is absolutely right. 31-19 in maps. This year, it's a lot closer. It's 1-1, but one of those games was a best of one in the team league, so doesn't give too much away. The other match was a WGL qualifier match that we always take with a grain of salt as well, so can't really tell who's better at the moment. Fly this year against Orc 6-6 matches, FoCuS 7-7. I think it's gonna come down to tiny little decisions, maybe item drops, a little luck needs to be involved in Orc Mirror as well. And does one of these players come up with a surprise? Is it going to be the Ultra Standard, Blade Master, Shadow Hunter, Raider, Walker, Kodo? Or will we see Skip Barraxes? Will we see Tier 3 techs? Will we see Farseers?
I would love to see it, but that is extremely unlikely. Seeing a Farseer here Fly for a while, did like the Tier 3 style quite a bit. For Orb, for Master Training, sometimes even for Triple Hero. Extremely rarely also even for Tauren. FoCuS normally more Tier 2 centric, and normally now that, you know, this is the biggest tournament, this is where everything's on the line, no safety net anymore, down in the lower bracket, I will expect the standard. I will expect what these players are most comfortable with. But, you know, comes down to the player, comes down to the situation. Sock, for example, tried quite unusual stuff as well. It didn't serve him too well. But we'll see what we get in this Orc Mirror.
Yeah, the cheese doesn't taste too good in this tournament, that's for sure. The way into the lower bracket for the two players, FoCuS was defeated by Infi, looked really good on map 1, not that great on map 3. In the lower bracket versus X-Lord, there were a couple of mistakes made on both sides. FoCuS in the end, with a lot of hero focus, seemed to be the superior player. Fly had a lot of problems with X-Lord. Only a 2-1 there against the Beatles, and then against Infi. This is a 2-0 on paper, but boy, was that a series. Outplayed by Infi in the end, though, with mass breakers, and when the TC doesn't have impact, you have a hard time versus human for sure. This is going to be very, very different. I'm extremely curious what's going to happen. Who do you think is in a better shape, judging from the matches we've seen?
I would give Fly a bit of an edge. He may have lost one map against X-Lord, but FoCuS kind of got lucky with his games against X-Lord, honestly. The ping was plaguing the German heavily there. Otherwise, he would have been in serious trouble. And against Infi, he won one map, but that was the weird Expo style, right? After that, in the normal games, I think there also Fly looked a little bit better than FoCuS did.
I would agree with you. Historically, both have been around in the Warcraft scene for so many years, 14 and 15 years of pro experience. Both of them, FoCuS had to spend some time in the army where Fly was still playing. But that's about it. Fly has been a world champion. Fly has been a gold champion before in a final against 120. He won WCA. He has won the big tournaments. FoCuS, though, he was always there. He always made it to round of 8, sometimes into semifinals. This year in Anaheim, into the finals. But the big win, after 15 years of professional Warcraft, still no premier title.
Yeah. And we were, in the past, sometimes we were close to saying, might this be the time? Is this the time? There had been points in FoCuS's career sprinkled throughout short periods over the year where he was looking really good. In the online tournaments, leading up to the big offline ones, where he was in stellar shape, and we said, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. But even then, he didn't get all that close. And at the moment, he's not even in the best shape.
But I pointed this out in the group stage. Usually, online players have a 10% higher win rate than offline. For FoCuS, it is 23% better performance online. This, of course, is the online Gold League. This is supposed to be his tournament. Maybe he can do it all the way into the quarterfinals. The most recent GCSs, last time was eliminated in the group stage in a tough group, I would say, with FoRtitude and 1-0 and Hitman. 2 times playoffs before that. For Fly, it's kind of similar. The past 2 editions, he was eliminated in the group stage as well. Once by Chimiko and once in the group stage. They're also a tough group. It's been a while since he made a deep run. That was the super one-sided grand final in summer of 2018 versus TH. It feels like this year he belongs deep into the playoff bracket, but FoCuS could definitely stop him. It's another battle of Korea versus China. It's the Lao Pao Esports Club. The last remaining LP Club player, FoRtitude, wasn't even qualified. Colorful got just eliminated by Lin. And Fly could follow his former bandmates, TH and Infi, into the quarterfinals. So here we go. In the blue, we got Fly. In the red, we got FoCuS. With a break immediately. Okay. Starting on Last Refuge. What other picks and bans do we have? Remo.
The remaining maps are Northern Isles and Echo, along with LR. So Twisted, Terranus, Concealed, out along with AZ. Seems like a lot of the item gamble maps are being removed.
Yes.
We see that a lot in Mirror, especially.
Seems like FoCuS doesn't think he can rely on his item luck, right? I mean, if you're Fly, it's very obvious to veto these maps. But if you're FoCuS, shouldn't you rely on Lady Luck?
Well, if you are a reasonable man understanding science, then I would suggest not to. And I would assume FoCuS is one of those. But yeah, in the past, sometimes FoCuS has been having some pretty good item luck. That can make a big difference in Orc Mirror, finding the right amount of claws, finding big mana potions, finding perhaps Wand of the Wind, auras, especially the ever so elusive Scourge Bone Chimes.
Oh yeah.
Can make this very favored in one direction.
For China, of course, everyone is cheering for Fly, a big fan favorite over there. One of the biggest streamers at all in all of China. FoCuS never really streamed, right? Maybe for a couple of weeks, and then he thought, okay, this is not really for me. One of the very few players in the scene that doesn't have a stream.
Yeah, and normally one would think with a setup like this, maybe you can develop some very special strategies, some very special creep routes. And FoCuS has some nuanced ideas here and there, but normally not the big innovator. Normally not the guy with whom we go, oh, he's not the one who showed us, for example, Ethereal Form Walker with Lightning Shield.
So he had some cool ideas against Human with some Wyvern Harass and all, but apart from that, yeah, he's also not the one inventing the Rock Golem creep on Twisted. He's very, very fast to adapt, though. And timings and creep routes, that's oftentimes his thing where he shines. We were pretty much in awe when he played against 1-0, especially the early game on Last Refuge and WGTL. You remember that? Until everything turned around with the great micro of 1-2-0, that game looked wonderful for him. And in Orc Mirror, things like this can give you an edge. We have heard that LP Club has renewed the contract with FoRtitude and Colorful. FoCuS, not yet. There seems to be a little bit of duration on his contract there for sure. Maybe a good run in WGL can help him to extend that elusive sponsorship from LP Club. We go into the game again. This time the positions are a little different. In the bottom left in the red we got FoCuS. In the upper right in the blue we got Fly.
For a second there, I was getting giddy. Did you see that? The peon went to the lumber and I was like, oh my god, Warmill! But no. No Warmill, no Headhunter, no Farseer here. It's gonna be Blade Master Grunt Standard. At least that's what it's looking like so far. On this map, Blade Master item hunting can lead to great results. Lots of claws to be found. Even some consumables to be sniped. And for the Shadow Hunter also, lots of mana to be picked up.
Yeah, a typical Blade Master battle. We also see 2 barracks, so no one is skipping that. In the Team League, that was kind of trendy for 1.5 weeks or something, but people figured out that grunts are kind of necessary in this matchup.
Yeah, if you don't have the melee brawlers by your side with a Blade Master, you can get pressured way too easily. We've seen plenty of shop cancels, burrow cancels, even barracks cancels sometimes, and then you find yourself in hot water. Not something you want to open yourself up to in such an important game. We do see a slight deviation here in the builds. Fly not going for a shop, so that means he's not going to go for the claws camp first. He's going to be moving towards the middle with the circlet, and that should be a bit of a faster tech than for the Chinese orc.
I agree. This would usually be a FoCuS thing to do, if you ask me. He loves to go to the shops. Little sneaky creeping. Remember, he was the one inventing the Turtle Rock shop creep. But no, pretty standard this time. And Fly going for more utility items, I would say. Consumables at the Shadow Priest, who is not casting in a fire. He knows how to do this, and that's an easy creep for him. What item will he get? Replenishment Potion. Nice for harass.
That's really good. 200 HP, 75 mana, recovered for free. It's not that much stats when you hear it like that. 275, but in the early game, when stats or health and mana pools are so low, it does make a difference. Getting the second High Priest here would be amazing. It's going to be another nice consumable. But the speed scroll is coming in. Can he get the last hit?
Oh, he doesn't. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Timings and creep routes, and that was a big steal. Fly gets the item, but this is level 2 for FoCuS. Critical strike unlocked.
Big experience lead here. Early game seems to be going quite well for FoCuS. His tech is later, as we pointed out, but experience is easily as important as tech speed, possibly more important. Double circlet and dust. And with that level advantage, FoCuS now is feeling quite bold, feeling encouraged to creep aggressively, even to try to steal creeps away. Is he gonna reveal?
He is. Oh, FoCuS? Not sure, got it? Okay, looks like Fly got it, right? 1.5. The claw went to FoCuS though.
Yeah.
That's big. Oh my, this early game. It feels like he loves Last Refuge. Like, he's always so on point.
Yeah. Fly would love to, FoCuS would love to go trading now. His Blade Master is so much stronger. He's got crit and 2 more items. There's no way that FoCuS can fight right now. But the thing is, if Fly now just creeps aggressively on his opponent's side of the map, FoCuS probably going to do the same. He's just going to creep on Fly's side of the map. I think at least that's what he should do. But FoCuS is playing very cautiously here, keeping the grunts in the main and even the Blade Master feeling afraid here in this early game and not doing much at the moment.
Okay, waiting for the tier 2. It was a little slower. Thing is, Fly, with the Wand of Illusion, I'm not sure if he's doing it, but he could creep hard and fast without losing too much HP, using these illusions to soak up damage. But doesn't seem to be the case. He's maybe thinking about it. But it seems like this movement by Fly is a little hesitant, while FoCuS is just jumping from one objective to the other.
Going for the Merc Camp now, though. Gets the Berserker. That's a nice pickup for Fly. Big item here. Scourge Bone Chimes. Does he get it? The one item that is way too good in Orc Mirror.
Yeah. Nope. It is Boots of Keltalas. Good damage. Trifecta for FoCuS completed with the Gloves of Haste.
That is so tempting now to go into crit 2. But Windwalk 2 is also very good.
Yeah, on this map, I always feel like Windwalk is kind of necessary.
Oh, triple circlet!
Yes. FoCuS, is he moving in aggressively? Fly is creeping with the Blade Master here. Kind of necessary to get his own level 3. FoCuS knows about it, right? There was a scout, so he sees the movement. Oh boy, this could be brutal for Fly. He goes for the Shadow Hunter right away, hoping for some crits. Both with crit level 1. Speed Scroll trying to get out. Nice Hex to counter this. But man, is a great position for FoCuS, and he gets the Shadow Hunter kill. Wonderful ambush.
Could have even chased for more. I'm surprised FoCuS isn't going deeper, trying to hunt down more grunts. But even so, it is a very impactful kill. Takes out the Shadow Hunter, and now taking Fly's camps away would be the best thing to do.
It feels like FoCuS finds a nice balance of when to creep himself and when to be very aggressive with the Shadow Hunter early. Some players might do mistakes here and there and overestimate their position and then think, okay, I can go aggressive, but then fall behind in experience. For FoCuS, that's rarely the case.
Yeah, it's looking really good so far. Last hit steal here. No. Okay. Perhaps a little afraid of the Hex and Snare. But he's got Spirit Link, so he's very tanky. FoCuS gets the full camp. 1 of Mana Steal. Is alright.
High
Fly with a passive creep on the high ground.
Yeah. That never feels good in the early game, right? When you feel forced to go out of the middle, not going for your own merchant.
And the Blade Master's coming up there. Oh, and the rest of the army is as well. Last hit here for FoCuS. 3.5 now on the Blade. And looking for kills.
Alright, where do we go? Ensnare, Wand of the Wind. That's great to delay hexes, to delay healing, to take out the Blade Master for a while. Shadow Hunter, no mana anymore though for Fly. Not level 2, only level 1. No heal wave at the moment for FoCuS.
Alright. FoCuS takes a step back, at least with most of the army. Oh, the Blade gets the last hit there again. Is he gonna be punished? No.
But experience might be a little misbalanced. The Shadow Hunter without Teal Wave, man, that could really bite him.
Yeah, that's true. Would love to get him to 3 quickly here. Next big consumable item. Both want to get it. Oh. And for the beast for FoCuS. Is he going to pop it? He certainly is. The Blade Master is surrounded though, is in trouble. Cyclone up in the air.
Shadow Hunter.
Dispel going for the Shadow. Heal Scroll. He makes it to the shop. Invul perhaps. Spirit Link coming through. Invul used and a Clarity.
How's FoCuS healing on the Blade Master? There's a heal scroll, okay, but now heal wave. Oh, this makes things so much better. The Berserker is falling for Fly. FoCuS still 40 supply, a little tiny bit ahead. Trying to get away now. Gets level 4 on the Blade. 70% ahead on the first hero.
Finally level 2 crit. It's gonna be big damage here coming out soon. Fly lost quite a bit of supply here. Only 37. Down by around 10.
Man, this is an interesting mirror match. It's hard to say. Like, they're both moving quite cautiously and careful, but there's still a lot of fights already without Kodo Beasts. Like, how often do we see Orc Mirror where both players are focusing on their own progress and then they get the Kodos and then they are at 50 and then they fight? Here, FoCuS forced 2 fights already.
He took a little while to get the Ogre Lord. The Blade Master is coming in. Oh my god, if he gets this last hit, that would be ridiculous! He gets the item, not the last hit, but he's hexed. He's in trouble.
Gets out the War Song Battle Drums. Stupid. Ancient Django of Endurance. Movement speed and attack speed in Orc Mirror. Without having to go tier 3 for the TC. But he needs progress on his Shadow Hunter. All this was pretty damn good, but if you don't have level 2 heal wave in the next fight, you're gonna get crushed, possibly. By aiming for the revenge.
He has no mana, though. Oh, he picks up the item and just walks away. Nicely done.
Robe of the Mage. Imagine this is a Vamp Aura. And he just does this.
Not quite so lucky. But still, nice grab.
Second red spot for Fly. This is a lot of experience now. Does FoCuS know this? Does he anticipate it? Does he punish this? No! Takes a right to the lab. What's next? Okay, Warsong Battle Drums now. That is a sell, as it doesn't stack with Kodos anymore. Finally, FoCuS gets his level 3.
Healthstone could be useful on the Blade Master, but at the same time, oftentimes he's completely left alone for the longest time, so might not find too much usage. Blade Master also almost 4 now for Fly. And we're starting to get ready for the late game. We're moving into upkeep, we're muscling up, getting more upgrades perhaps here and there. No tier 3 by either of the players.
Yeah, I think Fly would be the one doing it if one of these two players decides to go for this. Oh, and snare on the Kodo for the second time. That's a big grab just for free for cooldowns, basically. And FoCuS at the 10 supply lead now.
Does he feel comfortable enough to force a fight into the enemy main? That has backfired before between the two. I very vividly remember a game on Echo Isles.
Yes, oh yes. I forgot about that. Very good point. FoCuS overextended, but he has 2 heal scrolls, mana potion, health stone, no invul, but Fly has only 1 heal scroll. He got the shop though, and instant reinforcements. Shop on the high ground. Love this move by FoCuS. Takes out a raider. Feels like Fly is moving a little too offensively, and FoCuS punishes it immediately. Very trigger happy on the ensnares, and it doesn't backfire at all. He gets the kills. Is he too aggressive with the Blade Master though? Shadowhunter too far forward, not able to punish this. This is so much more supply for FoCuS. Takes out a grunt. Now level 4 for Fly. He finally has the damage, and the Blade Master is down 50%. Catches the heal wave. Kodo Beast, did it snag? Oh, gets ensnared now. FoCuS Fire Shift. Grunts are falling left, right, and center, but that's pretty much the only one so far. Fly has no chance to engage onto FoCuS's Kodos. The positioning seems to be too good. But supply is even now, and you called it, Remo. Is that a mistake?
He still has 2 heal scrolls to use, though. Seems to be the one used right here. Blade Master very far forward again. He's absorbing so much damage. Shadowhunter, he catches him in bad position. FoCuS, where did you put your second hero? That is so dangerous. But there's not enough ensnares to lock him down. Whew, that was a scary moment.
Finally.
1 heal scroll used. Second one is on cooldown. FoCuS has to retreat a little bit. Wants to get to the shop. Wants to get to those clarities. 1 raider falling on each side. FoCuS still with a slight supply lead.
Yeah, but the Kodos. Oh, okay. Fly gets the Kodo back. Now the shop is paying off. With the mana potion, possibly. He's very short on resources. Has to put it into army all the time. But FoCuS pretty much has double shop control. The merchant for heal scrolls and invuls, and his own shop for mana potions, and maybe even heal potions if he needs it. But that is, of course, very, very expensive, and all money that Fly can put into army. This is a great moment for FoCuS, that he can replenish the mana. Now he has the money for the mana potion. Relentlessly pushing. Going for the back line again. Taking out the walkers. Everything pretty hurt for FoCuS, but beware. There's this heal scroll, and this will have big impact. There we go. Everything back to like 70%. He takes out the Kodo once again. Fly with the heal scroll, with the mana potion as well. Level 5 on the Blade Master. Level 3 critical strike, right? Oh, not deciding it yet. A little bit of wasted damage, but whatever. Fly takes out another raider. Heal wave rattled through, but FoCuS seems to be so confident.
Blade Master now 260 crit. Okay, that was certainly level 3.
Ooh, 268,
240. He's not stopping.
FoCuS is Saint Sword 220. He wants this kill now. Heal potion. Okay, that seems to be a little desperate. Trying to get into the back, but the Kodo is blocking. Blade Master takes out a Kodo, but there's still Command Aura. Wow, the lack of damage clearly shows now in FoCuS. Could have gone wrong this fight, but a lot of confidence, lots of great plays, a lot of good decisions here. Just with a better fight, and now almost twice the supply.
Yeah. This Blade Master is officially out of control. Taking out more buildings, taking out the production. And snares should be cooling down. Then this Blade Master might be in trouble. And there it is. End snare flies. Next end snare flies. Perhaps a hex after.
Ooh, yeah. This is the end for Fly for sure. He turtles, but looks like this will be broken soon. The Kodo falls. The Walker falls. Now he turns around. End snare. GG. Last refuge and focus. Seems like a match made in heaven sometimes. Great early game movement. Great early game finds, of course, as well. But he takes it from there. The Blade Master's damage was the key to victory here.
Yeah, also that Creep Jack killing the Shadow Hunters, slowing Fly down as much as he did.
Yeah.
Getting ahead, getting the heal scrolls. And that all started with the Shadow Priest last hit, the High Priest. If that High Priest doesn't get to focus, he doesn't get the level 2. Fly isn't so afraid. He gets more done. This game might be looking very different.
These nuances in Orc Mirror, right? How cool that can be. But I really like how FoCuS has found the mix between aggression and creeping. This early Shadowhunter timing was glorious. And Fly? What? This didn't seem to be too great, to be honest. There was no answer to FoCuS's early game.
Yeah, was there something he could have done? Or was he just too far behind? It's hard to tell. He had some good items. He was able to build up a decent army. But the army was a little bit smaller. The heroes were a little bit lower. The items were a little bit worse. Everything was just a little too little.
True that. Okay, here we see the fights once again. This was a little scary, fighting without the heal wave and against the Wand of the Wind. That was a good shot for Fly, I guess. Very cool to see that these players seem to know each other inside out. There were a lot of item steals, a lot of ambushes here. That's the scary moment that you pointed out. Deep run from the Shadowhunter, but wasn't punished. And again, early Kodo focus. This is already late. Everything is decided here, but FoCuS was the one focusing the Kodo beasts early, took out the damage aura, and he had the greater damage anyway. And with that, it was even easier. Whew, Fly needs a strong comeback now. Needs a very different game now.
We're gonna be moving on to Echo Isles. A very different map. Much smaller, only one shop. Not really very big items. No mana stones, no auras, just a lot of claws. And perhaps one mana potion in the middle. It's a lot more basic of a map. And I don't know, does that serve him well? We'll find out about that. Certainly should be pretty straightforward creep routes. Should be a pretty straightforward move to tier 2, probably with a mirrored opening.
Okay, we get ready for Echo Isles. Fly's map could be the end for the former Gold League champion and finalist once again. And that would kind of fit his late spring, early summer. He was so impressive, but then he wasn't. Okay. He still has a shot. Let's not rule him out, but FoCuS looks damn solid.
I would be a little surprised here, to be honest, if FoCuS now takes the win, but the series is far from over. It seemed like Fly had that little bit of extra spice about him, like this air of brilliance that didn't lead to a victory against Infi, but almost did. We'll see if it gets him back in this series.
Okay, FoCuS. How do you deal with the pressure here? Could be your fifth Gold League playoffs in 9 participations. Only missed 1 Gold League. That shows how much of a staple of the community he is. He's always there. He's a big workhorse as well. Always in the tournaments, as I said many times throughout the broadcast this week. The average recorded games of a player is around 70. For FoCuS, we have around 90. So he's not too proud to play the small tournaments. He's always there.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much whatever's on, FoCuS is playing in. WGL, Shook Cup, doesn't matter. Blade Master. We certainly shouldn't be seeing anything else here. And it is not... Man, it's been a long time since I saw the Farseer in this matchup.
You miss it.
When is he coming back?
Come on, step by step, right? First we implement the Farseer in the matchup versus Night Elf, and then we take things from here. We already have him versus Human, and now we get him versus Night Elf, maybe. And we see him sometimes against Undead, so one thing after the next.
Alright, so... That's a weird shop position by FoCuS. Is he not gonna creep the Claws camp? But it's the Claws camp, man. You want the Claws.
You want the Claws. And you can't really save it for later, because it could be punished by Fly early on if it's aggressive play. Okay, he is taking the Claw camp, but then what?
Okay, so he's gonna walk back basically towards his natural. Early game creep route is really important in Orc Mirror. It sets the pace for the mid game. It gives you the right amount of acceleration. You need to progress well, you need to transition well. There's a lot of little decisions to be made.
Fly a lot earlier in the middle with this. FoCuS takes the entire camp, and that might open up the Ogre Magi. Is he still in time to punish this? FoCuS is very hurt. He can't really heal up, or he doesn't want to go for the Magi. That's a pretty obvious thing to do by Fly.
And Fly is punishing the fact that FoCuS crept the whole camp, not just the item carrier, very heavily.
Very hurt now, of course, but that's to be expected. That's why he has... had to use a second heal self. Not in Windwalk. Could be cancelled.
But that's the big heal. Going to FoCuS, nothing... to Fly, I mean. Nothing FoCuS can do about that. Is he going to go for a third circlet? No, dust. Okay.
Okay. The only consumable, the big consumable, goes to Fly. Now FoCuS moves a little more aggressively across the map, but can't really find anything.
Both here scouting out, at the same time trying to find creeps, items themselves to go for. Oh, perfect grad positioning by FoCuS, that was pretty cool.
More claws possible here. We don't have a single one yet, but there's 10 spots and the marketplace, so be assured that we will see high crit numbers down the road. Shop control, of course, immensely important for Invo Potion, for heal scrolls. Fly taking quite some damage. And circlet number 3.
Alright, very beefy now. But it's pretty even. Triple circlet versus double circlet gloves. Basically the same power level.
After this...
Supply blocked.
Ooh,
Burrow's too late. The shadow is delayed.
How did that happen? This seems like a minor thing if you just hear it. Oh, the burrow's too late. But this is so much time for the Shadow Hunter that will be missing. And that is, of course, creep time. That's, of course, time for levels. So FoCuS could find a moment to engage with heal wave against heal wave, or he goes for an early Shadow Hunter ambush again. He'll probably creep level 2 as it's so easy for the Merc camp. But yeah, big mistake by Fly. Unforced error.
But at least he was doing a good job looking for FoCuS. FoCuS was trying to sneakily fit in there the enemy Merc camp to be crept by him. But Fly was looking out for that, prevented it. That would have been a really nice camp to steal away. But as it is here, the two Blade Masters just keeping each other busy. Beyond level 2, there wasn't really any creeping at all. So there's not going to be the highest level Blade Master here for a while.
After this series, of course, we're going to see Foggy fighting for the quarterfinal in the rematch against WFC. And wait, is he not going to the Merc camp? Maybe waiting for the grunts.
If the Blade Master is there to attack you, it is a dangerous camp to take. FoCuS could go to the middle, to the Merchant to creep level 2 right away, but of course, FoCuS doesn't know what we know, that the Shadow Hunter was made.
Ah, true, good point. Early Warmill maybe wants to overcome the lack of Shadow Hunter level with an earlier Kodo. Is it time to battle for the items already?
It's a good time to go for the Merchant creep. It's daytime soon. And FoCuS certainly has the much better timing with that. Pulls out the creeps, plays it safe. There's even a red dot. We can see it right now in the minimap getting attacked. Is he scouting with a peon over there?
I don't know. Reveal now. Sees that the Blade Master is here. Is there anything to do for Fly? Shouldn't be. Invests a Hex, gets the experience. And more damage on Fly's Blade Master down to 1/3. Of course he's holding on to the greater healing, but ideally you want to use it in the fight, not in the creep.
It's a lot of damage on these grunts. Blade Master can't really get anything here realistically. But it's solo leveling for Fly across the map. He's level 2 already. He's gonna get a big item here from the Merc. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I agree. This was supposed to be worse for Fly. Heal Scroll for FoCuS is of course a big deal, thanks to Spirit Link, thanks to Heal Wave. But 2.5 for Fly, yeah, and still not going for the Merc camp. Sometimes we see some Berserker additions. Whoa, okay, tier 3.
On 40 supply only with the War Mill. Alright. A little bit of greed here by Fly. Wants to tech. Quickly to tier 3. For Kodo upgrade, for Master Training upgrade. Ooh, there's a sentry here, by the way.
Yeah.
Fly, you need to be careful. When there's a second raider, there is kill threat on the Blade Master.
Due to the 2 ensnares then, but Fly is moving carefully. Goes to the Murlocs instead. Both don't want to risk anything here. You can see that it's about elimination here.
It's pretty confusing that Fly has the supply lead. With him teching.
Weird, right? What did FoCuS of course invested into Dust and Heal Scroll. But that shouldn't be... Also 600 gold for FoCuS for a moment. Is he just teching as well? He didn't buy another item. He didn't invest into army too much. I feel like he's teching as well.
Okay. Could be. Yeah, this game he definitely doesn't have enough of an advantage to force a fight into the enemy main like he did last game. But he still may do it.
Hold that thought, exactly. Maybe he just wants to take out the shop? Or is there something else to do?
Is he going for the burrows?
Diving. Oh, a little scary here. Ensnare on Raider and Blade. This could be punished hard by Fly. Weird moves by FoCuS. But maybe it's a 200 IQ play that we don't see yet. So far, it doesn't look like it.
Raider still being kept alive here for the time being. But there's only one Kodo in this battlefield, and that is Fly. So this is not a good fight for FoCuS at all.
Nah, maybe
back up with a heal scroll, speed scroll.
There was a lot of time just wasted. Maybe if he goes there, kills the shop, that's a pretty big deal. I don't know if he has the damage already, if the number of raiders are enough, but preventing clarities and maybe even an orb would have been enough. That was strange.
Yeah, FoCuS going tier 3 himself now, but it just started, so it's gonna be a long time.
Got a TP on the Shadow Hunter though. Tiny Great Hope for Fly. He arrived at tier 3.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Just straight up going for a tiny? Damn, dude.
Fly gives no Fs at all.
What if FoCuS just behind this little push was muscling up to 60 and now you're fighting against 60 supply with a heal scroll? Isn't that a massive risk?
Yep, but it's Fly.
Okay.
One peon saved, now killed. So what's the response?
Not bad on this blade.
Yep.
Slicing and dicing.
This gives the heal scroll to Fly though. Hex. Reveal. And snare. Uh-oh. Did you say 2 raiders is the kill threat? We got 2 raiders. Yep. And we got Hex. And we got crit. Here we go. FoCuS with a fly move.
Yeah.
And now how do you punish this tiny Great Hole?
I think you don't. He's trying to go for the burrows in the back. They don't have reinforced defenses yet. Of course not. Fly is playing full greed this game.
It's no pillage, by the way. Spirit Link, okay. It's not that easy to engage. Level 2 Blade Master only, but alright. Trying to keep him supply stuck, but for that he has to kill 2 burrows. And, oh wow. How is he supposed to do anything like this? This is 350 gold push, and he's losing army. This looks a little ill-advised. Or desperate.
Desperate, I think, is the right word. FoCuS gonna have to TP out here at some point. Can he get a Devour off, perhaps? No, perfect end snares. By Fly, nicely done. Is he tier 3? Can he counter Tiny Great Hole Expand?
Yes, 1,300 gold. But also looks like he's going for Tavern Revive? He doesn't have the supply free. He's not reviving the blade at the altar. There we go.
Did he already buy Tiny? No. Bought a mana pot. And an Orb of Lightning. Hard, of course, in a game like that to make that call, whether you can just counter expand or not. I think it would have been possible. But now perhaps not anymore. This time, it's Fly going for the base attack. And that's pretty smart, with him being on 2 bases and all.
Yeah, absolutely. Forcing FoCuS back will be great. No open fights yet, really. I think he's still waiting for some upgrades and for the expansion to pay off. 600 gold and all. Oh, he kills the shop. That is so smart. With that, no Tiny Great Hole for FoCuS. Really, really, really smart play by Fly.
Aiming for the Kodos with the Purges, with the Dispels. Perhaps he can get that kill. A few crits coming out as well. And that's the Kodo gone.
Is he just taking this fight in FoCuS's base? Is he that confident? He has 1,000 gold in the bank. He has a TP as well. He just fights as long as he wants to. And that's it.
Gets most of his army back home.
Yeah.
And can now heal up again. Speed scroll popped. Oh, there were 2 grunts over there to harass. And they're getting quickly taken out.
Ooh, this is turning into an ugly game for FoCuS. Nothing really works. Fly reads him like a book. Fly has the answers to the questions that FoCuS didn't even raise yet.
Yeah, it's looking very much like the equalizer here. Fly on Echo Isles, that seems to be working out very well today and before. So many purges everywhere. My lordy! Doesn't even need that many end snares to have the lockdown.
Orb of Lightning is pretty good indeed. Hex goes through to prevent the damage. Fly at 53, still so rich. Can go for 1 million items. FoCuS is losing a big chunk of his army. He doesn't get too many crits here. Pretty much trades 1 for 1. That's always favorable for Fly, who runs away in supply, in experience, and of course in economy.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it right here in this fight, but Fly does have a big lead. Still lots of stuck in production, I guess.
FoCuS gets a couple of kills, that's fine, but level 4.5 of Fly already on the Shadow Hunter, which is the most important hero.
If they will shop at the expansion, that would be perfect. I think he has it actually. He's got a clarity running there. Had it for a second.
Yeah. Mana potion as well. So desperate attempt by FoCuS for sure. And he sees the supply gap is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Fly slaps back. It is the 1-1 that we were hoping for. That most fans, I guess, expected. We expected this match to be quite close for sure. And Fly, cool approach to this matchup. But I think the big thing happened at around 2 minutes 30. When the marketplace goes to Fly, and that gave him the edge for the rest of the game, pretty much.
It wasn't much of a lead, but it was a little bit. And that creep route by FoCuS, normally something he's so good at.
Yeah.
doesn't seem that smart. Yeah, you get the experience from the camp, but you give up the middle camp for free? That's kind of weird. And good job by Fly resetting after game 1 where he was pretty soundly beaten. And FoCuS shows here that if he doesn't get off to as strong of a lead as he did on map 1, then it's going to be much harder. And that might be pretty promising for map 3 for Fly if he can keep it somewhat even. He seems to be doing well.
FoCuS in his Echo Isle game this tournament, also versus Infi, kind of running around like a headless chicken here and there. That indeed didn't look too hot. Now it's FoCuS's map choice though, and he should feel a lot more comfortable there. That also key moment, late master kill later into the game. And afterwards this little ill-advised push into Fly's base. There were a lot of questionable decisions here for FoCuS. Does he get derailed by this loss on map 2 and will Fly pick up momentum, or will both players win their supposed maps?
Northern Isles, our last deciding map. A map where perhaps rushing tier 3 is a little bit more dangerous because you give up so many juicy camps of the map, potentially investing into tier 3, losing a bit of power, losing a bit of map control. There's red camps to be grabbed. There's the middle camps to be grabbed. Really rewarding creep camps that I'm sure both players have a very specific creep route laid out for.
Yeah, I agree. The winner of this next map is $1,500 richer and is in the top 8 of the world. That's the good news. Bad news is the winner faces TH in the round of 8, which is, yeah, really, really, really hard if you're an orc.
Yeah. We haven't seen TH in that matchup yet. Do you think he's better against orc, or is it Infi at the moment?
I think it's clearly TH.
Really?
Yes. I would say there's a... Yeah, oh well. I think the strength of Infi is the strategy. And someone has to find an answer to the strategy. For TH, it's just everything he does seems unbeatable. Almost like Moon against Orc.
And Yulka recently he 2-0 FoCuS and he 2-0 Lin. Yeah. So that is quite impressive. It's going to be a really good quarterfinals. Our quarterfinals just all the way through are going to be sick.
Yes. Saturday, 10 a.m. Central European summertime. So a little earlier than usual. Of course, we're going to go into a pre-show as well. 9:15. The good old early hours, Remo.
9:15, dude. For breakfast with a coffee and a bagel.
You can sleep a little longer.
I woke up today at 5:30.
Wonderful. So excited about today's games?
I don't know. You know, we are both very good at not having proper sleep schedules, and I excelled today.
Wow. Okay, let's decide this third quarterfinal, I was about to say, lower bracket final of the day. The first two were very, very one-sided affairs. Here, to be honest, the game's one-sided affair, but the series is not. We got Fly in the blue, fighting from left to right, from south to north, and FoCuS in the upper right in the red.
Still with a standard build, of course, this will be Blade Master once more. Fly's altar is not pointing towards the Claws camp, though. Amongst orcs, it has become pretty popular to go for the 2 green camps in the middle. Especially the bigger green camp, to go for the consumables there. Like Sentry Wards and Lightning Shield and so on. Seems to be trendy currently. But okay, with that shop positioning, I guess it's looking more like the Claws once again.
Yeah, understandably so. No risks taken here, no big surprises, no one skips the barracks, no one skips the shop, no one goes fast here. Both rely on the standard. And then it's about movement on the map, creep routes, timings, and fight execution. FoCuS has to scratch game 2 out of his head. There it felt like nothing was really working.
I'm still amazed that there was so many resources for Fly to go tier 3 and Tiny Great Hall.
Yeah, right?
Where did he get all that gold from? Secret little piggy bank somewhere.
Well, you know, Tamiko has the lumber hack. Maybe Fly found another way.
This time it's both Blade Masters creeping up the whole camp. Not like on Echo where you want to contest for the marketplace quickly. And Circular versus Ring, that certainly favors FoCuS. Is his item luck back?
For him, would be great, of course. In this map, item luck not too important, as we do have the marketplace, as we do have on Echo Isle. So if you see your opponent has a big lead, you can kind of try to catch up by buying items from the marketplace. Of course, that is very, very expensive and not too easy to do. Fly gonna get level 2 here. Sentry wards. Oh, especially when you're trying to contest the middle, sentry wards are gonna be amazing to scout your opponent's moves.
Yeah, I wonder where he's gonna place them. Just straight up in the middle, or does he have something more detailed planned? Buy something at the market. Or
Circle it. Yeah, hard to see the blue dots on Northern Isles on the map, but I think you just pushed in the middle. I think it's at the expo?
Yeah, at both naturals. At his and at his opponent's.
Wow, okay. Ignoring the middle.
I guess the middle is too hard to creep early on anyways. And there the sentry comes into effect right away. FoCuS wanted to swoop in, steal the last hit, steal the item, just like as he likes to do with his fast fingers. Fastest fingers in the West.
In the West?
And in the East. All over.
Depends on where he is, I guess. We have another reveal here. But yeah, this was the big strength of FoCuS on game 1. These little moves gave him the edge on Last Refuge, and now the sentry wards deny that. Good early for Fly so far, I would say.
Something else from the marketplace, maybe?
So
Nope,
expensive
not yet.
at this stage.
Claws is only 125. Pretty cheap. Kind of. I think on Echo Isles nobody bought claws, right?
No.
So rare to see.
To Fly
Especially for Fly's strategy, understandable, as he was saving so much gold.
Fly is again on 26 supply. I kind of worry.
Oh yeah, don't forget that burrow.
Of course, we don't know what's in production. Oh, ring. Fly got it now. They changed colors between the maps, right? I'm a little bit confused.
Oh yeah, true.
So FoCuS in the red, Fly in the blue. And FoCuS trying to steal this one away. But again, Fly is so ready for this reveal. Ooh. Who's gonna get the better end of it? Fly's stuff is all quite hurt. Important last hit. Big mana! And it goes to Fly. Experience to FoCuS, I believe. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you got the experience. But that big mana potion, man, that is sick for the Shadow in the late game. FoCuS once again has a second hero a little bit sooner. But I think Fly should be coming out any second. Again, around 30 seconds later. Second time.
Wow. That can't be on purpose for some time, from some weird timing, right? Not
I
really.
don't think so.
Flag up the crystal ball. What does FoCuS get now? Just the dust. Oh, and the creep now.
Blade Master's coming in.
Risky. This could, of course, be the Vamp Aura. And that's what FoCuS is aiming for. But Fly is right there.
He does have a dust, though. Should certainly use the reveal. And he does. Good job by FoCuS. Pushing him against the trees.
Yeah,
Here comes the Hex now. Alright. And gets Quel'Thala's boots. Oh, he's surrounded! Oh, no! Has to pop the big potion just to get out of there.
Yeah, I was thinking this when he got in. Like, if you yoink in to get the experience and the item, how do you get out? Big mana for an item and deny experience when it could be so crazy good on the Shadowhunter level 3. That was a little ill-advised, I think. That was a waste of the potion.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly better than dying there, I guess. And it cost bonus time for Fly, but yeah, it hurts. Losing the big mana like that. So the Beast Found for FoCuS.
Yeah.
Can be decent, but normally there's lots of dispels to use, so perhaps one for the shop.
Okay. We're moving into the mid game. So far, creeping Fiesta. Fly a little more aggressive. But that wasn't too great. Shadowhunter under pressure, a little bit of extra damage. Seems like Fly doesn't feel like he's in a position to fight at all. Moving to the Scorpion. It's not a really brave thing to do. You can see you focus way more closer to the middle of the map. Kind of an indicator of
to
strength.
steal the last hit.
Yep.
Don't.
Huh?
I'm not sure, but it was close. That's level 3. FoCuS with a good experience lead here. Ring +4. Not the best item, but a very nice level up.
Alright. Getting closer to 50. Shop control also on Northern Isles, very important. Did he buy something now? Mana potion, heal scroll for FoCuS? I think he got slippers, yes.
100 gold? Not too expensive. Oh, the Windwalk runs out in the middle. Is he getting caught?
Looks like it. Cameraman, please, thank you. Another one here.
No dust anymore. Ooh. Lucky, otherwise he was dead.
Fly, will he get punished for this creep spot? Late Master is in. One's level 3.
Lost the grunt of the creeps.
Ooh, lots of nerfs here. Speed scroll. Hex, though. And the end snare following this up. This Kodo Beast would be a big kill for FoCuS if it happens. Speed scroll, of course, used now. Can't use it to get out. Focusing the fire on a raider. But more and more end snares raining on this Kodo. 4 supply and the aura gone. He has a backup one, okay. But heavy commitment to Kodos early by Fly. Level 2 Blade Masters dashing it out. Now double level up for Fly. That's so important. Blade Master maybe even going for level 2 crit here. Level 2 heal wave, of course. There's so much value in this.
Throw the beast. Pretty well used. There's no dispel against that apparently. Saving the mana, maybe he doesn't have the upgrade yet.
Ooh.
The Kodo Beast are giving bonus damage. Fly's gonna fall back. Back to the shop. His mana is low. Both shadows have reached level 3 at this point, but FoCuS. I thought he was gonna have a shop here coming up, but apparently not.
Not yet indeed. Little supply lead by Fly, but of course a lot of in production. And he texted tier 3 again. FoCuS punishing this. He must have started it a lot earlier. Trying to take out more units. Don't let FoCuS overwhelm you. That's why he went for the Kodo so early. Blade Master battling it out. Who has the better crits? FoCuS didn't skill yet. It's just Fly with a level 2 crits. Waste of damage for sure, especially with these boots of Kel'Thalas.
Nice heal scroll right there, doing a good bit of healing. A lot of damage on these blades. Oh, the Kodo goes in and gets off a Devourer on the Raider. That's a big deal.
Wow. Peons are all about to fall. That's juicy experience. No level up close, but you want to have them out of the fight also for positioning. And snare on the grunt. Fly about to lose 2 units here. Level 3. FoCuS wasn't even level 3. Okay, that's of course the reason for the level 2. But having the shop here again is one. Now comes the shop for FoCuS. He wants to keep up the pressure. But Fly is surviving until tier 3, isn't he? Tier 3 is done, right?
He is surviving. He's gonna get the orb maybe, but his army is so small. What to spend the money on now for Fly? This is really risky. Why is he not bringing out peons, by the way?
I don't know,
He's
maybe
got so much lumber.
Blade Master battle here. Raiders in trouble. Or everything in trouble for Fly. Now the orb. Will the orb turn it around with the purges?
He needs more healing though. I think the mana potions for Fly are out of stock. He's not using them. He's not buying them. Blade Master's going back in again. Heal potions, I guess, can do it as well. Another heal wave by FoCuS. He's got his shop there also in the back. And FoCuS is way more army. Way more.
Yeah, Fly gotta be careful with his Blade Master. FoCuS was chasing that. Another Kodo falls for Fly. Is this the end for the Chinese orc? FoCuS on the verge of victory. Was this tier 3 too greedy? Shop taken out. No more clarity. No more mana potion. No more healing. FoCuS is taking out production buildings now. Getting closer to victory. He stayed at tier 2. He was the aggressor. He found the better timings.
Uh-oh. Now, the burrow is also exposed. The first one goes down really quick. Fly isn't really supply stuck. But still the burrow lost.
He has to rely on these purges, right? That's his biggest hope. Blade Master, right click, hope for crits, hope for purges. FoCuS has no mana anymore. Might need a potion. He has that potion. Uses it now. Heal wave. Or Fly. No way. Is he getting these crits? Both have the crits. Windwalk. So much risk by Fly. He needs to take these risks, of course. 29 supply only.
Does Fly have a shop in his own back of the base? That would be crucial. He's got no clarities at the moment.
No,
That's
there.
what the observer heard me. He's looking for it.
Weird position. He can't heal. Shadowhunter out of position. Maybe it was a little bit of a bait to put damage onto something else. Doesn't look like it. Fly with great movement, but that must be it. Blade Master falls as so often for Fly, and that's GG. We've seen FoCuS with this move, smacking his head back against Infi. That one time was out of desperation. Here, it's of joy. FoCuS, the second Korean orc in the playoffs, up against TH now. And Fly, this is a fitting result for the past couple of weeks. Eliminated in the group stage again.
Kind of a tragic run though for Fly. He had a 6 series against X-Lord, in which I think he adapted really well. He had a crazy close game against Infi, even if it was 2-0. And here against FoCuS, it was also very close. At times, it seemed like he was in total control, like on Echo. But he doesn't make it out of the groups. As we said before, Group C was going to be really hard. And it sees Infi and FoCuS advancing.
It feels like FoCuS was just way more stable in every single series. He took a map off of Infi when Fly couldn't. He 2-0'd X-Lord when Fly had a lot of trouble here. And in the end, yeah, map 2 was pretty weak by FoCuS, but map 1 was super strong. And on game 3, maybe the better decision. Fly's tier 3, it was out of the bag, I think. And FoCuS kind of felt like he knew this would be coming and punished it. When he saw this, all into the base, let's go. That was a big risk that Fly took and didn't pay off this time.
I think the creep route was the deciding thing here. This push was backed up by a level 3 Shadowhunter, whereas Fly's was not level 3 for the longest time. If he has level 3 there to defend, that should be looking pretty good in that initial defense. But the first couple of trades, damage-wise and attack-wise, were going in FoCuS's favor. I think that was still pretty close. I honestly think FoCuS played a little bit worse than Fly in the group stage. All encompassing, but what does that matter? At the end, it's FoCuS winning, making it through, going up against TH in the quarterfinals, man. That is going to be a rough one.
TH eliminated him twice already. Oh, that was GCS Winter and GCS Summer. 3 times a charm, eh?
Unless he comes up with something great. FoCuS has found in the past interesting answers, new ways against human. Recently, however, it was Lin who did that. He's definitely not going to be the favorite in his next match.
Cool for FoCuS though. Everybody was talking about Infi, everybody was talking about X-Lord, and everybody was talking about Fly. No one really had him on its radar. And in typical FoCuS fashion, not super stylish, not with the craziest creep routes, relatively standard, and boom, into the round of 8. We go into the studio in Shanghai to hear from the man himself. Here's the interview with FoCuS.
Hi, FoCuS. 恭喜.
Hi, thank you.
好的，那第一个问题啊，我们在第一场的比赛当中看到你就是抓 Fly 的练级，抓了很多次，而且抓得很准，并且强调了它一个耐久光环的这样一个宝物，这是你第一场制胜的关键所在吗？
1경기 때, 1세트 때 그 아이템을 뺐었잖아요, 사냥하면서. 그게 혹시 이기게 된 그 중요한 포인트라고 생각하세요?
네, 근데 그것도 중요했고, 근데 사실 그 아이템 스틸한 거보다 플라이 선수가 그 윈드한드 아이템 나왔을 때 좀 이득을 못 보고 다 써버린 게 더 큰 것 같아요.
就虽然他抢到宝物是占据了一定的优势，但是 Fly 在抢到了那个吹风权杖的时候，就用的不是很，没有在很关键的时候用掉这个宝物，所以可能 Fly 的失误还是有一点的。
好，那么在这个第3局决胜局的比赛当中啊，我们看到当时 FoCuS 去进攻 Fly 家里的时候，两个人的英雄等级是差不多的，然后部队的人口数也是差不多的，但是当时 FoCuS 打着打着就拍了一个商店在 Fly 的家门口，好像感觉到自己已经能够胜利了。当时自己这种信心的来源是什么？
그 마지막 경기 때 플라이 선수 본진에서 싸울 때 영웅이라든지 인구수가 다 비슷한 상황에서 상점을 하나 지었잖아요. 그 상점을 짓게 된 계기가 혹시 이겼다고 생각해서 지은 건가요?
아니요, 그 왠지 장기전이 될 것 같아가지고 그 오크 대 오크 서로 레이더가 다 죽은 상황에서 아무래도 서로 영웅을 노리게 되기 때문에 아이템이 중요해가지고 상점을 지어서 거기서 그냥 끝내려고 했습니다.
然后就是造商店的话，其实是因为兽族内战的一个特性，因为如果狼骑都死掉的话，可能就是要拼英雄了。如果就是为了要保住他的英雄，他要造个商店买一点保命道具这样子。因为他有想到可能要打长期战，所以就在门口预先造了一个商店，以防自己的英雄被击杀。
好，那其实我们知道有很多的这个粉丝都认为令是韩国最好的兽族，那这场比赛其实他已经击败了中国最好的兽族选手 Fly 了。怎么样，在后面的比赛如果遇到令，有没有信心在内战里再击败他？
한국 선수 중에서 오크 원탑 선수를 뽑는다면 박준 선수를 많이 뽑잖아요. 근데 오늘 경기에서 중국의 원탑인 오크 선수, 플라이 선수를 이기고 8강 진출했는데 다음에 혹시 박준 선수를 만나게 되면 박준 선수를 이길 자신 있어요?
네, 그 아이템만 잘 뜨면은 이길 수 있을 것 같습니다.
他说如果遇到令的话，如果他的宝物运气好一点，可能还是有机会战胜。
好的，感谢 FoCuS 接受我们采访，希望后面的比赛继续能有好的运气。好的，这就是今天第3大场的。
Orkmura interview, a lot about items. FoCuS said it gave him a little bit of an advantage, especially stealing these items. But Fly had good items as well, so it didn't only come down. I think it's very good that we didn't see a Vamp Aura, to be honest, here. There was also a question about building the shops during the fights, and FoCuS just responds with, well, it's pretty common at Orkmura, that's just what you do. The question about his confidence, FoCuS answers with, if I get good enough items and if I'm lucky enough, I have the chance to defeat Fly, and that is of course the case, as they are pretty even in skill. So, second orc qualified for the playoffs. We got 2 Night Elves, 2 humans, 2 orcs. Is it time now for the second undead to step it up, or will it be the third Night Elf? Will it be the first Western player to make it into the round of 8, the only one remaining? It's time for the rematch of Foggy versus WFZ. We go into a little break, and then we have the last decision of the day in 4 minutes. Spread the word and spam this Froggy to support Foggy.